Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Spider-Punk Marvel Legends figure from yet another wave of Spider-Man Marvel Legends, this time with the Lizard Build-A-Figure. And this figure is one that I personally have zero interest in, but it does have some really cool design elements, and they executed most of those things pretty well. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just over 6.5 inches, including the spikes on his head, which makes him pretty darn close to 17 centimeters. And for the most part, they did a decent job on this guy. He's got a nice matte to flat finish, so that helps him to stand out a little bit. He looks a little bit more like a higher end figure. The paint job's pretty clean. We definitely have some issues throughout for like the Spider-Man stuff. You can see there's a blue chunk missing, or a red chunk missing. There's a blue spot on his chest right there. But mostly the line work is pretty good, so I'll give him that. The face does look really nice. The eyes are nice and clean. No problems there. The spikes look good, and then the vest looks pretty good as well. The shoes, very little detail in them. Just a little bit of sculpt work and just a little bit of paint work, but it's definitely good enough. So it's not too bad. The back of the jacket looks nice too. We have seen a lot of these parts before, but not all of them, and I think it's overall a pretty decent iteration of this character, or of these parts, I guess. It's not too bad. It's okay. As far as accessories go, we have a total of 4 hands. We have one hand holding a pick, one hand for holding the strings, guitar things that are at the top of the guitar, and then we have one fist hand and one style pose hand, which is not a thwipping hand. You should be aware of that. And then of course we have his guitar, which has very little detail in it paint wise, definitely more sculpt wise, but it's still there and it's not too bad. So another thing I guess you can count as an accessory is the vest. It will come off if you want it to, so that's totally up to you. I want to point out the head sits on the neck very nicely. It's pretty good, like that. As far as the range goes, you can look up pretty well. I just realized the eyes were metallic. I thought they were just kind of shiny, but they're metallic. That's interesting. They're like pearly white. Looks down really well, all the way side to side, no problem. Any attitude, just a tiny bit of lean side to side. Shoulder range, pretty good. You can get the arms up better than horizontal, so that's really good. Butterfly joint works really well. Full rotation. Yes, of course the vest is in the way a little bit there, but not too bad. Bicep swivel's fine. Double jointed elbows, no problem. Still didn't paint the insides of the arms. That's a bummer. Wrists swivel and hinge. Of course, the hands are interchangeable, so they swivel. And that's pretty good. I want to point out, though, this hand that's holding the pick, I am fairly certain that the hinge going this way is worthless, and it should have a lateral hinge instead. I think that would be way more helpful for posing it, and since they had to make a new sculpt anyway, they should have done that. Lazy Hasbro is lazy. He does have one notch going backward, 2 notches going forward. Not the best ab crunch in the world. It's kind of high on the figure and looks a little weird, but you get a little bit of range out of it. Waist swivel is fine. Legs go all the way forward, no problem at all. He kicks pretty high. Going back, not really at all. Side to side, very limited. About 45 degrees. For Spider-Man figures, very limited. Otherwise, it's probably acceptable. Thigh swivel's fine. Double jointed knees work no problem. This guy has a really nice ankle joint. You have a rotation right here at the top of the shoe, and then you have also your standard hinge at the bottom for the foot to go forward, which works very nicely. Goes all the way back, and of course has an ankle rocker. So it's essentially a ball hinged ankle, which works just very, very nicely. So overall, it's a really solid figure. It's not perfect by any means, but I think if you like the character, you're going to really like the figure. And if you're just collecting Spider-Man figures, it's not a bad one to pick up. The issues with it are few and far between, and overall it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to say I recommend it. And there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.